Okay, we're willing to share with you our lives because this is something that Abba is telling me to do. Because this is about coming out of Babylon too. It has to do with us coming into a higher frequency and being one with Abba. And so, especially, I'm talking about, we're going to be talking about guy stuff, boy stuff, um, things that people don't want to talk about because it's very important and it's a problem. It's been a problem in my life even. And that's why I want to say certain things that is very important that we get down to the bottom of. So I was basically a father in the house wants to raise a family and wants to build a business, wants to build something for the family, and they're always looking about for the family. I mean, have you noticed my intention is what usually?
Usually to create
To create for what though?
for the family.
Is it just for myself, or is it? It's things that actually God's put into my heart and mind. This place that we're at right now, I saw in a dream years ago. I remember the whole village. I remember that house down there. I remember it. I thought something died. You know what I mean? Like it was like a cursed place, and it is. But we're here to transform it. That's what the light comes and does. It transforms the cursed places into something of a blessing in the end. Um, Nothing can be cursed without warrant, without a cause. You get that, right? So the only way that you can be cursed, here, have you do it. The only way that you can be cursed is by not following his laws, correct?
Mm.
Isn't that what Balaam told that king? That I can't curse what God has blessed, and so all I can do is bless him, because God ordains it. But he says, I'll tell you how you can get them to curse themselves, and this is why the whole world is suffering today, because literally people lied to us. It's all exactly the way it's supposed to be. Everything, it's perfect. You're never to say that God's kingdom isn't perfect, because at the end he said, he declared it, it was all perfect. It's all a matter of us living it and experiencing it, to go through it, to raise that consciousness. But it's all been done already. Every possibility is out there, it's been done. That's infinity. I literally reached that point before. I reached the 8th day. You were there when it happened to me. And I got to experience it. And it was so beautiful. How did I get a glimpse of it? Does that mean I've got it forever? I don't know. I think that is um, the I think that is the thing. When you get that, you get immortality. You get everlasting life that way. So what I'm here to do is share with you the Father's heart. This Father's heart isn't to kick you out at 18 years old. Say, go get a degree and go do the Rockefeller thing. Not at all. Have I ever raised you to be that way? Do you have any idea how much trouble I've saved you throughout all your whole schooling? And all you can probably see is your lack of things. When I saved you headaches that, oh my God, you would become a cookie cutter laborer, just like the Rockefeller Association created the education system to do. To become a brick of the world. Is that what you want to be? Or do you want to be a living stone of his temple? That's what I'm here to show you. Who he is and the temple that he created you to be. And so that he can shine his light, give you literally the menorah, the oil for the menorah to light you up. Light up your chakras, light up your whole gates. Open the gates and let the king come in. That's what we're here to do. So the whole thing is so that the Father knows you and you know the Father. And it's a whole relationship thing. You don't talk to me enough. I want to open our relationship up more. Nico does now, and it's a beautiful thing. But I'd like Ephraim to come back to me and not have to go through the learning process of what we already know is true. I can teach you economics very quickly. You know what I mean? But do I want to? No, because I created all this for you. And for me to enjoy it together. You see, he worked 6 days to be able to enjoy the 7th day with him. That's the rest we're entering in. The Messianic kingdom. You can still eat if you want.
No, I wouldn't.
You don't like it?
No, I'm not all that hungry.
No, I'm not either, actually. Awesome to go with us, though.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kingdom, Dimitri. It's all about us getting to learn the Father. And how do we please the Father?
By doing what he asks.
Yeah. And what takes us away? The spirit is willing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But what is the flesh is weak? What does that mean?
The flesh is easily tempted.
The flesh is very easily tempted. With all the lower gates. The first one being our root chakra, our root gate. And it's our sexual organs. And then up from there, where do we feel a lot of these things? It's in our gut. It's all the lower gates from the heart below. Is the heart going to be controlled by the lower gates? Why did
be.
It shouldn't be, no. Because in those are the early feasts that Yeshua came to cover us with. So he takes that red energy that is red as crimson, which is red as sin, and he turns it white as snow. How does he do this? How do we do this?
By forgiving us.
By forgiving us. But why? To forgive us, what does he have to do to make this happen? How do we get rid of these things? How do we get rid of the lusts of the flesh? How do we get rid of these carnal natures that we have?
He has to come in and work within us.
He comes in and works within us, exactly. You can't do it alone. You need the Son. You need the Messiah to come in as a spirit, the comforter, the teacher, the one that teaches, that shows us the Father. He is the way, the truth, and the life. He brings us all the way back to the Father. And that's what I'm here to do with you. But this has to be first. Do you know what I mean? Our communication, those things. So how do we talk? I've taught you these things. I've taught you all the tools. How do you raise that red energy then with him that comes in? How does he come in?
By using, by aligning your energy and grounding yourself and rising
Grounding
up.
him in. What does he say? He says the seed of a woman shall step on the head of the serpent, right? Mm-hmm. It'll bite our heel and we'll be stepping on its head. What is that? What is that to you?
That's the serpent being crushed by, I don't know what the woman would stand for. It would be...
What would the seed of a woman?
Oh, the seed of a woman. Yeah, it would be crushed by him and him. Yeah.
Him in us. We cannot will the darkness away. All you can do is make it more dark. And what is it going to do? It's going to fester in there too, isn't it? All kinds of things are going to grow. Mold and all kinds of things will live in there. Until all you can do is literally shine the light inside of it and go, oh my God. See, I didn't know I was a sinner until his light came. Until the Father came with a little light, Yeshua, and literally shined it and exposed all my gates, all my closets of sin that I didn't even know. I thought I was a good person. Everybody thought I had an amazing heart, that I was such a good person. If you think I'm a good person now, you have no idea. I mean, I was a good person as far as the world standards goes before. Now I'm a good person for him because I do everything out of love, but it doesn't always look like a good person in this world because they think it's evil, what I do. But I have to. If I don't, what happens?
Then everything just kind of falls apart.
It does fall apart because then they won't be getting the meat at its proper time that I'm supposed to give. So he comes in, he pushes our own ego out, which is this Hasatan. That's what Hasatan uses against us, is our own ego. It's pride. Because what is he looking for in that house with that little candlestick and goes to find in the house? He looks for what?
11.
11, which is a symbol of whatever puffs up, whatever's prideful. It makes us bigger and bigger and bigger, like, ooh. And then what happened to Hasatan? Why did he fall?
Because his pride.
His pride got too big, didn't it? And that's what happens to each and every one of us. So Hasatan is our own nature of serving our own carnal nature instead of his spirit. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the way to take care of any earthly lust and temptation of the flesh is to literally, how do we get him in? How do we enter him in? How does he come?
By accepting him in.
Accepting him in, but how do you let him in? How do you bring him in? Please tell me you know this answer.
By loving him.
And how do you love him?
By following his
What he
commandments.
says, that's his commandment, the Torah, right? That's what he says. He says in literally giving us the Torah, I do this as a husband to you, which is in the future is to be Yeshua, right? But it was giving us the Torah to be able to follow the commandments. And what does he come to do now? It says in the prophecies, in Rabbi Kadur's prophecies, he proves his laws to be valid. How does he prove them to be valid? But brings the blessing and the curse. It's the light of the Torah. It is a blessing and a curse. And I'm ashamed to say I don't even know it. And I'm like, you're making me judge? He goes, because you're not judging by the law. You're judging by their law. You're not judging by your own law. You're judging by my law. And what he says is, judge lest be judged. And when they judge, they get judged. But we're supposed to judge. So what do? Damned if you do, damned if you don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you judge then? How do you judge these things?
Judge according to God.
According to his word. Exactly. So be careful how you judge, first of all. Right? Because when you do, there's three coming back at you. And you're judging, you need to be judging with his laws. So, unless we have a right to judge somebody, because we're sinners too. We all are. But I don't judge people. If you haven't noticed, I really don't judge people until they judge me. Then I have a right to judge them. By their own laws, or by his if I have to. That's why I tell police this all the time. I do this all the time. My medicine isn't exactly legal at all places. You know what I mean? But it's a testing. If they go against me, guess what I get to do? Guess what this judgment is and the elect get to do? What do you think?
They get to bring down God's law and
So what happens?
circumvent man's law.
Circumvent man's law. Yeah, because I'm in law enforcement too. So if they bring the man's law to me, I can bring God's law to them. I can bring man's law to them, and even. What happened to that man that called the police on me?
Where was that?
Back home in Arizona. The Star Point. Remember what happened?
Oh, yeah,
you guys all thought I was kind of crazy for what I did, but God told me to go down there.
He got arrested for fraud.
He got arrested for defrauding the government for over $3 million. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
So, now, if we need to get rid of, there's another part that you're missing, and it's actually the most important part. But you already told me you don't do this. And this is what I need to get you to do. How do you enter in the gates? What does it say? What does the scripture say? How do we enter in?
By putting him first.
Yes, but what else? How do you do that? Who did we put in the wars before, in every war that...
By praising him.
By praising him. Thank you. That's why I say have praise music on all the time, or listening to his word. Or praise music. That's what we need to be listening to. Somebody got you on a hard rock a while back. I didn't like that. It's a bad vibration. It changed you too. I hope you know that. But it's okay. I mean, you had to see some of the world. That's okay. But what's important is what goes in. It's frequency and vibration. It literally changes everything. All of creation was made like this. They've actually proven that they created fire inside of water with sound. And that's exactly what Abba did. Isn't that what he said he did? He separated the waters. He brought fire to the earth. So the way that we're going to get through, and the only way we're getting through these days, is to stay in the state of praise. It's the only way. Do you see why Jews are making it? They're praising him all the way. But there's a spirit there that they know. But the Islam was created to be our counterpart, to test us. Are we going to fear? He's already tested me. I already feared and put my tsitsi in. Well, because a kid told me to. I thought about it before walking in there. I'm like, no, I'm going to wear it. But he said to put it in. And I listened to him. I felt like that was the right thing to do. But next time, too, I'm going to really think. Because he tells me we need to wear these things all the time. That is important. That's one of the things that he knows is his people. But they're going to be scared of you when they see you. They want to bless you or curse you. But if they curse you, they get cursed. And so what happens? What do you think this animal kingdom? Why is it the lion of the lion of the tribe of Judah? Why is it a lion? What does the lion do?
It's the symbol of a leader.
A leader? Okay.
And has dominion over the land.
Dominion over the land. He's the animal kingdom, huh? Did you know there's a heavenly kingdom too?
Mm-hmm.
There's a hierarchy that way? And it's an animal thing that one eats the other? And has a right to? So when somebody goes after me, somebody attacked me and took me out of my heart. I can't wait to get home with it. It hurts our heart. What was I saying? So I just came into the flesh, and it hurt. I'm in pain. I'm in literally a body of a prison of pain in my flesh.
You're talking about the animal kingdom and how...
Yes. So what happens? What happens? What have I learned? What have I told you that happens? What happens when people go against me?
You have the right to judge them and take their crown.
And take their crown. Exactly. So that's what they were living in. I have a right to take their gifts too, and give it to where it belongs. Thank you. The higher the fire, the more that you know him, the higher you are in the kingdom. And see, everybody judges you, and they'll judge you as good or evil. But that's how they're supposed to go to their rightful places. Does that make sense? Remember years ago I told Peter, I'm here to split your church, and I was here to split it 7 ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that because all the vibrations need to go to their rightful places. He's shaking the whole earth, so that everybody, all those living stones, fall in the rightful places. But what I'm trying to tell you today, the only way you can overcome your flesh, and which he tells us to gird our loins now. Why is he saying to gird your loins, especially now more than ever, because we're in the last days? Why would it be gird your loins? I'm talking to myself right now too. Why would he say such a thing? You just told me earlier. I just want you to say it for the...
Because your flesh is the easiest part to be tempted.
And what can come in there?
Spirits and demons.
Exactly. So when you entertain those things, it actually says that when you drop your semen, it's written somewhere that Lilith comes to get it. And what does she create with it? Because all of it is creation. So what we do, so instead of creating demons and evil things, and it keeps us away from God's things, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So all we need to do is stick with Abba as the servant, as the Messiah in every house. The Father needs to be the Messiah of the house. He needs to be the image of the Mashiach in every household, an image of the Father, which was the same as what the Mashiach had. Yeshua said, you must be one with the Father as I am one with the Father. What did he mean by that? You must be God like I am God?
You must have a connection with him.
Yeah. He must live through you. It's Yeshua that gets us there. He's the little light that took the leaven, the pride, because that's what he did. When I thought I was a good person, and the fire came into me. His light came into me. Then he took it outside with the Holy Spirit, with the feather, put on the wooden spoon and burned it. He burned it in hell for me because I asked forgiveness. All he wants is the Father just for the Son to turn back and start to come back. And he just goes over and gives him a coat of many colors. Gives him a coat of light. So bright. He also gives him a wedding ring and says, I want to marry you. What does that mean? What does that mean? Give me your hand. What does it mean to say, I want to marry you?
Come off.
I don't know. What does it mean when he says, I want to marry you?
It means he wants to be with us.
Yes. But how do you keep him in you and with us all the time?
I don't know if that's coming off.
Huh?
I don't know if that's coming off.
Anyway. But he gives the son a ring, doesn't he? It's because he wants to marry, the family gets married together. Jew and Gentile together under Yeshua. That's what he came to do. To bring the lost Jew, the lost Hebrew, back together. And all these people are telling lies. They believe lies. They believe the TV, whatever it tells them. It's the idolatry. Let them. They're going to hell anyway. What are you going to do? You can't save them. All you can do is be a light wherever you are, and that light is literally a blessing and a curse. People are going to be afraid, or they're going to see the love in you. But love, that love, when you're that light, it literally attracts the hidden Hebrews. Have you noticed that? Wherever I go, what happens?
You meet hidden Hebrews.
I meet his people, don't I? Wherever I go. Actually, I don't have any more friends. I have 5,000 friends. I have no more room for friends. I have to make room, don't I? So that's what he's going to be doing. And this is part of the kingdom coming. I literally get to judge what's beneath me, because that's what a king should do, shouldn't he? So when you're a higher fire and somebody judges you, they have a right to judge you and take your crown, meaning they take your authority, which is what the world has been doing for many years. That's why they have us separated into building blocks and countries and things, and they're trying to unite things in an unholy manner. But Abba is going to unite them in the end under his kingdom, because we're not going to be able to trust in any government but him and his. And that's what he's going to do. So consider yourself blessed when they curse you and persecute you for keeping the commandments, because we're going to be a separate people that they will be scared. We are going to be a nation under him. He's our king, and I want him to live here within. Do you feel him? You hear him. Do you feel him come? You feel him come in. You've told me that before, right? So that's what you have to do. When those temptations come, you go put praise music on and transform that energy and turn it from the red Adamah earth, the carnal nature, because he came to cover us there. Is that making sense? Mm-hmm. And that light, we bring it in as energy. Bring it in and bring it back up, and that energy becomes white as snow coming through our head. That's where we become saved. That's when we're actually, do you see that as energy coming in and out?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you need to do. Me too. Will we keep each other accountable? Okay, that's what we'll do. We'll keep the temples pure for him, lest anything evil comes in. You know what I mean? Because all the righteousness we can do can be given away in a split second and forgotten. Or we can be the worst and ask forgiveness and be the cleanest. That's what happened to me in Jerusalem. That's why the only reason I got the fire that I got, baptized by the fire, because it happened right after Yeshua cleansed me, I actually had that Passover experience. Yeshua cleansed me. He took the leaven out and burned it, so I was totally clean. I had a clean slate so I could see the Father. He's the one that cleansed me as an image of that ox, as an image of the red ox, as an image of all of it, every sacrifice actually, that gives us back to the Father. So, what did we learn today? How do we treat the Father in the house?
With respect and following his laws.
Exactly. And are you a servant, or you work for money, or what do you work for?
You work for the greater good.
Yeah, but we're servants of love. If you love me, you'll follow my commandments. If you love me, you'll keep my commandments. Do I have commandments in the house?
Yeah.
If you love me, you'll keep them, won't you? The crazy sons out there, they think they don't have to keep them. They think, oh, you know what? Our other brother did it for us, so we don't have to keep them. We got our inheritance anyway. And they don't want to be anywhere near the Father, today or any day. Because they listen to what liars taught them. It's a shame, isn't it? They think they have a license to sin. We're blessed that we can always ask forgiveness. There's only one sin that you can't ask forgiveness, and that's blaspheming the Holy Spirit. Be very, very, very careful if ever doing such a thing. Don't make fun of things that you see. That's what the people do out there, and I get to judge them for these things. Because if it's the Spirit of God inside of you, well, be careful what you say and do. So we listen to the Father in the house. It's a kingdom. It's not the American family. That's what I've been trying to destroy all along. The Christian American family that we've been raised to be. He doesn't want that anymore, does he? What does he want? What kind of family does he want?
Hierarchy.
What's that? A hierarchy? But what happens? What happens when the king is pleased with his wife, and what happens with those things? He gives up to half of his kingdom. But it has to come that way. Do you know what I'm saying? There has to be one positive and one negative in every situation in order to make it happen. And that's the two trees, the two olive trees that light up the menorah. One is king of Malkut. Guess who that is? Guess who's king of this whole earthly thing? Which angel is that?
Which angel?
Yeah. The king of the earthly realm?
Was Satan. Lucifer.
No, actually he's under Sandalphon. It's Malkut, the kingdom of the earthly kingdom, is meant to be Sandalphon's. Eliyahu's, actually. That's what he tells me. As crazy as that is, that's what he tells me. So that's why he lets me say crazy things. Like I tell people I'm a prophet right away. What do they do, you think? What do they do automatically?
They judge.
They judge. How do they judge? With what?
It's man's law.
Yeah, they think, oh, a prophet would never say he's a prophet. Ah, well, he told me to, just to judge you, because I'm disclosing what I do. Hello, disclosure. Just like every police officer does, doesn't he? Don't they disclose the law?
Mm-hmm.
You have a right to remain silent? Well, that's all I'm saying. You have a right to speak, but I'm a prophet, and everything you say will be judged accordingly, that way, by him, inside of me. He's the one that does it, not me. I'm a fool, remember? That's what you see. So, here we are. Can we live the kingdom life? Can you serve me with love to build the greater good of the Father's house? Or do you want to work for money, mammon, that is all controlled by the man with the printer that is going to take total authority over everybody because of it? Is that making sense? So, you work for the Father's kingdom or you work for Satan's. You can't serve mammon and God's kingdom at the same time. And you see now that we've served God's kingdom, how has he blessed us? I mean, this is impossible, isn't it? I mean, how is this possible? We're even at right now. How is it possible? Because I listened to the Father and Mom listened to me. And we took her investment and made smart things. You know what I'm saying? And investments that we made throughout these years, and we did what Abba told us to do, or told me to do. And it seems like every time we listen to what I told to do, it blesses us, doesn't it? When we go the worldly ways, what happens?
We get cursed and things start falling apart.
Yes. Do you see when you're with me? Do you see ever when the frequency, when you're in that high frequency in love, do you see everything just happens beautifully? Every door opens, divine appointments, everybody you meet, you become friends right away, right? And what happens when I'm in the flesh? I'm not in his presence. I'm at the bottom part of the tree. What happens then? I'm in pain and suffering. I'm away from him. And so that's the biggest blessing that I have. This disease that we have, the pain issues that you have, all the disabilities, is to bless you. It's to make you not normal, to fit into the world that way. You're supposed to fit in as a peculiar piece of his temple, a piece that nobody else can be. You know what I mean? The filler's going to go away. They believe the lies. Do you see why I get so angry at our own family that believe the lies? It's because I know what's going to happen to them if they don't wake up. Doesn't seem most want to, do they? Right? No matter what you tell them, you can't save them, can you? So all you can do is do what you can to have his spirit in you and do what you do out of love. I'm going to stop getting angry anymore because there's nothing much I can do. I'm trying not to. But evilness makes me angry. That's the agitation and peace. It talks about it in the book of Thomas. It's his fire. So you raise that red energy and you create something. You offer it to him as a sacrifice, a living sacrifice, and it'll give you everlasting life. This I know to be true because I've done it. You know what I mean? I've reached that. I've reached that 8th day. That man just saw a dream where he died. And God was separate. It was Judgment Day. He didn't die. It was Judgment Day. And God was separating the sevens and the eights. And he was one of the sevens. What does that mean? He didn't even know what that meant. I knew exactly what it meant. I was able to decipher that, interpret the dream. Do you know now, what being around me, what that means?
Being the seven?
Huh?
Being
Yeah.
seven?
Yeah. But what is the seven? What does that mean? Why are the sevens?
7 gates?
Yes. But
Yeah.
wouldn't it be, if you have the seventh gate, that means you have a crown. You literally have Yeshua up here, right? You have a crown. Why wouldn't that get you in? You would think the seven would get you in, don't you? You have the seven spirits of God.
Does he have to have the love?
That's it. You got it right there. And that's the eighth day that we get to go into. There, he even said it. There was no sexes. There was no age. There was no differences. Everybody was the same. It was this beautiful essence of everybody. Well, the whole thing is all we're going to see each other as pieces of him. And we're going to fall in love with each other, like from within, in a way that we're going to be living in the fire. I saw every sun, every star out there coming back together as one. Those are all in images of us. So which is the light of this world? Who is that? Yeshua is the light of this world, isn't he? Well, there's a symbol of everything. That's why he did that every morning. And that's why I'm telling you to do the same thing. Moshe went to the mountaintop and so did Yeshua. Maybe we need to do that ritual too, like I used to. I think if we did that thing, we would be in the perfect alignment, and there wouldn't be fighting. We wouldn't be in that carnal nature. Can we start doing that too? We make a sacrifice of mourning. Please help me so I can help you. I need help to get up too. I don't sleep all night. You know that. Not only do I have EDS, things dislocate, I have sleep apnea, I have all kinds of things. That's why they're willing to pay $31,000 a month for medication for me to sleep. Which is, crazy. Where does that money go? Who's paying for it?
What do you mean? Who's
Anyway.
supplying it for us?
Yeah, the whole thing is we're all going to end up being owned by people that we're playing Monopoly with somebody with the banker has a printer. Okay, so in the end, who owns it all? That's why they say you're going to own nothing. 2030, you're going to own nothing, and be happy about it, and that's their goal. But it's okay, because guess what? It's all going to be his anyway. So what I'm here to do is overtake them. They're going to overtake the world. I overtake them, and guess who gets the kingdom? It's him. That makes sense? The 144,000 will be pieces of him on this earth to literally shine him and ground him here. As the stones of that temple, which is a pyramid, is the government body. So, anyway, I'm going on and on again. It's energy. That energy that we make, the red energy, which was in a book that somebody gave me that was such a blessing, but that red energy, we take it from the ground, okay? It's that carnal energy. It literally is kind of like your kundalini. It's your own sexual energy that draws up, and that creates, because that's the little lightning that comes to meet the lightning from the heaven. So if that lightning never gets high enough to have its arms in the heavens in praise to actually reach the lightning that comes from the heavens down, it won't become white as snow. It won't become light. You know why? Because you wasted that energy down here in the fleshy carnal nature, and it spends the energy, electricity, just like that. And it just keeps expending it. You're literally expending all of your energy into the earth and creating demons in Lilith land, and giving openings for them to come in. Not only that, if you look at porn, you're literally sinning with those people, because now we're guilty of it, depending whatever we imagined, we actually did in spirit. So a lot of these people, guess what they're going to be doing? They're going to be having our crowns, huh? So we have to be careful what we unite with, because the earthly lust isn't for that. You are meant to have a wife and give her that love, so those two become one in a place that literally he comes in. That's the whole goal of creation, is for two to become one. That energy. And he comes in as in between. Two or more are gathered in his name, there he is. One becomes like Eliyahu, the other one like Moshe, and they literally bring the law, the spirit, and the truth together, and he comes in between. So the only way you're going to withstand sinning is to have him in. And how do we get them in?
They're praising him.
There you go. So we need to put praise music on. That's why I say every morning I want praise music on in the house. Because if we stay in that state of praise, I can dance. Otherwise, I'm in a prison of pain and I'm suffering and I'm handicapped. I want to die. So that's where my handicap and our handicap blesses us, doesn't it? That's why we're Levites. We have the blessing and the curse, and we're supposed to bring that to the world. That's why under the order of Melchizedek, he's waking up the Levites and the nations, which was who we are. To praise the king and to be the temple for him. Levites, Lev, means heart, doesn't it? Do you also know that Levi means connection? I couldn't believe that when he told me, because he was already telling me I feel the disconnection of his body. They don't connect under the lamina and the cross correctly. And so what does it mean? He says when you connect, you'll feel. And so when I do connect, I connect in the heavens. Okay? When I'm connected there, I have the whole cloud of witnesses going on up here. You get that? And they come out of the woodwork to bless me. Everywhere. Whoever is good and has that spirit, they just come out and they're like, oh, let me bless you here. Oh, let me do this for you. Oh, let me treat you like a king. I'm like, oh my God. I'm just a disabled man in this, you know what I mean? Because I'm in the flesh, I'm disabled many times over, 100%, many times over. You know that. And you know I don't look it. I do other times, but it's because of him. It's because of his medicine and him and some earthly medicines too I haven't been able to get off of. Because it helps me to get through the day. And not painkillers, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to practice doing that. We'll put praise music on, and will you listen to the Father and only try to have your mind on the Father's business instead of your own? Can you try doing that? Because you can't serve two kingdoms, you know that, right? And so far you haven't been serving the Father's kingdom, you've been serving your own all these years. You know that, right? You've been helping out greatly at times, but I have to be here yelling at you. And I don't like that. Do you want it? No. Why don't you just be about the Father's business and he'll give you the other desires of your heart? Look at what the Father's given us already. Please. Just trust him. Trust me. As I trust him. And we'll have a kingdom. Until you become to where you trust him and hear him all the time. And when you do, guess what happens? You won't have to be there. You'll just automatically know what you need to do. And you'll be at the right place at the right time at every moment of every day. That's his presence. You're actually out of time and space too. So take that red energy and raise it up and make it an offering to him and watch and see as that thing, turn it into praise and watch and see as lightning comes down and blesses you with fire of love that can only come from above and fills that heart and it quenches the thirst. You know what I mean? Because sexual desire goes away how fast? And then it's back again. It never gets quenched, does it? It's a never-ending cycle. You get stuck in. And all you're doing is wasting your energy and giving door open to demons and things to come in. So we're going to stay pure in our house. And we're going to count every day until we do. And if one of us fails, we start over again. Okay? Let's see how many days we can go. Okay? Deal? I love you.
Maybe two.
Thanks for hearing.
Thanks for speaking.
Thanks for saying that. Because people usually don't want to hear me. But the Father wants to speak. And I have a lot of smart things to say. He does, not me. Thank you, son.